All right, everyone. How are you doing? We are back. It is Friday in Bremerton, Washington. Hope that you've had a good week. As you know, we do a new show here on Fridays on the Conduit. We're talking about Illahee and Enetai and what is going on there, and how important it is, for one, you to be informed, for you to know what's happening in your city, and then two, also to educate you on if something similar is happening to you in your neck of the woods, you know how to advocate, protect yourself, rally your neighbors, and make a stand. So, without further ado, as always, I want to welcome in Kathy. I'm going to give you an applause. Kathy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Marwan. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It is good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on into the studio. How was your week?
Good. I guess I want to start out with I made some notes today on my way in. Wanted to share that I was on the ferry this morning at about 8:45 into Seattle, and it was just a beautiful day, and I was reminded of what a beautiful place
Happy
that we live
Friday.
in, and how privileged we really are to live in a place like this.
Nice.
And the temperature was perfect. The skies were clear. We were gliding through the water of the Puget Sound with Mount Rainier in the background. I mean, it just was perfect. And I guess it's my thought was is, and I have to remind myself of this is, with this privilege that we have to live here, we have a civic responsibility to take care of the character of our neighborhoods, our cities, and our significant natural resources that we have here in this county. And if we don't take notice and take action and speak up, our natural resources and the character of our neighborhoods will be defined by developers that are buying up all the acreage to build density housing in our county. And that is certainly what's going on. And I think that, in the words of a dear friend of mine, Judith Krigsman, who played a big part in the preservation of the Illahee Forest Preserve, um, she says, see something, say something. And it means if you see something, share it with your neighbor, talk to your neighbor, go around and talk to them about what's happening in your neighborhood. And I think that one feedback that I got from a listener last time was, how do we know this is going on in our neighborhood? And I think that it can start with you getting online and doing a Google search of Kitsap County parcel search, and a bar will come up, and you just put in your address, and it will pop up your neighborhood. And it's a way to look at all the parcels next to you and see if they have a permit in. Um, Unfortunately, most oftentimes, by the time we all find out about it, it's too late. So it really takes somebody keeping an eye on like the open spaces next to you, which is what we did.
Let me, since you're sharing where to go, let me see if I'm in the right spot here. So I typed in Kitsap County parcel search, and what came up was www.propertyrecord.com. Is that
That might get you
that
there.
might get you there?
Um,
P search
I
Kitsap Gov,
I always go to Kitsap County GIS.
Kitsap County GIS. Okay,
Yeah, that's
GIS. Ah, here we go. All right, so this is the Kitsap County GIS. This is the parcel map search here. I see parcel details, a map library, and section to
there
download.
we go.
Okay, so is this where would I click at?
See, and then there you go, right on top, parcel map search, parcel
Okay.
details, one of those two on the top.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat for everyone. And then if you want to do a parcel search, this is where you're going to go. Definitely want to teach while we talk.
Yeah, so if you see something going on in your neighborhood, this is a good way to go and click on that address and see, is there a permit in for that, or what's going on there. That's a good way to start. And it's kind of a complex system, and you'll see the box there on the left, where it's like a drop down menu, where you can click down and pick zoning. You can pick uh, critical areas. I mean, and it'll just pop up and show you everything that you want to know about what's in your neighborhood
Wow.
or
Okay.
anywhere in the county, really. You can go and take a look.
Oh, that's awesome. Right. So I just clicked on East Bremerton here, and that chopped it up just like that.
There we go. And then uh, if you go up to there on the top,
Uh-huh.
there's a pull down menu that will give you like 10 different options for zoning right at the top of that box that you were in, where it shows all those little clicks. No, on the left.
On the left.
On
Oh,
the
down
left.
here. I
That box on the left, it's
to choose the theme, comprehensive plan.
yeah, like do comprehensive plan. That's a good one.
Okay. Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah, you can, it's just kind of poking around and seeing what's there. Yeah, that's it right there. You can get to see quite a bit.
So you can see the Bremerton, East Bremerton UGA. You can see Central Kitsap. Yeah, so you can really drill down, zoom in. Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I wanted to start was,
Okay.
you know, it's about comprehensive planning, which the county is required to do. I think it varies anywhere from 4 to 6 years that they're required to plan for what's going on in the county based on all this criteria. It's really complex. I mean, I've been studying it for 3 years, and I still feel like I have a fire hose on, sucking on a fire hose learning this stuff. But it's really critical to people. I just think the average person cannot understand it. It's just too much. And I think that our working groups of people in the community that are studying this and trying to keep on top of what's going into the comprehensive plan, because there's a lot of pro-developer type people and organizations that are on the other side, and they make it their business on a yearly basis to go in and try to change codes and change things to make it so it's more pro-development. It's just, that's how it is. And it's really wreaking havoc in our county right now. And I always go to not just what happened in Enetai, but if you look up in Silverdale and you look at what's happening in Royal Valley, is a perfect example of what got slid into comprehensive plan process. And by the time the community found out, it was too late. In Enetai, we have somewhat of a benefit that we were watching. We knew it was coming, and we were on top of it. And so the Illahee community in 2008 created what they call a community plan. And so did Manchester. There's a couple sub-area plans around. And really it comes again back to comprehensive planning, which the first one in the county came about in 1998. And what they did is they went and they just did this global rezoning to urban low, which is, and when it comes down to this zoning, the urban low is 5 to 9 houses per acre. Everything it's all about density and zoning and density. That's what controls everything, what can go on a piece of property. And what the Illahee community decided was, well, we don't want that high density in Illahee. We don't want condos down on the beach. That's really a good way to kind of explain it. And because of anybody that's driven down into Illahee, it's the topography and stuff, and Illahee State Park. If you drive down there, it's the same way all the way from Illahee down into Enetai. It's all the same topography. Lots of creeks, lots of water in the hills seeping, lots of slides. It just is not really good place to be developing high density housing. And I think that's where the Illahee community, what they did is they created this community plan. It's quite a large document, 125 pages, and they actually included parts of Enetai in this community plan up to 30th. And so what we're doing as part of amending the Illahee community plan is we're going to go further south into Enetai and go to the southernmost end of it where it meets up with Manette. And we're going to be seeking to down zone from that urban low
Okay.
to restricted, which is 1 to 4 houses per acre, which is more compatible with what's already there. And so we're just basically building on what the Illahee community did. And we did get approval from the county to proceed with this in the last quarter of this year. And we're going to be sending out surveys to residents directly where they get to say what they want. And you can see right there on that map that this is Enetai. A lot of people think Enetai is just the beach. It isn't just the beach. This is Enetai right here. It's quite a large area.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see that yellow box where it says Fisher Platte.
Mm-hmm.
That is where this developer wants to come in and cut down the old growth forest that has been there for it's probably has been there since forever, since it never got created. And it was logged a little bit back in 1850, but we know of one tree in there that they had to take down because it was diseased, and they said it was 265 years old. So this is an old growth forest right in there. And it's surrounded by a lot of restricted zoning. And what happened in 2016 during the comprehensive plan process is right at the very end, the owner slid in that, oh, I want this urban low. You know, it was very intentional what happened. And then the community didn't know about it till 6 years later. And, they want to put up 189 houses. And so hopefully we're looking at doing the rezone up to at least to Trenton, to where we're going to at least control high density housing to that point.
Okay.
And then I think it's going to be up to the community from between Trenton and Perry. They're going to get a survey and they're going to get to say what they want. I mean, this is where the community can really get a voice, and that's what we're going for. And it's having zoning that's compatible with our neighborhoods, what they're built out at right now, not in the future. There is a lot of zoning along Perry that's commercial, and some of it's okay, but some of it's not, and it's not really appropriate, especially on Enetai Creek, which is a big focus for us, is to preserve and protect that creek and maybe restore it if possible. So that downzoning is a big thing. I think what happened in that case, that Fisher Platte area, is what we call a spot zoning. And it's where somebody goes in and they ask for a rezone that's not compatible with everything around it. And it's approved, and it's only to the benefit of one person. And it's always almost about money.
Mm-hmm.
And
surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. And that happened in 2016. The same thing happened in Royal Valley in 2016. There was something that was happening in 2016 that allowed for all this to happen. And Royal Valley got rezoned in 2012. It's all agricultural there. I think anybody that saw like the Minder farms and the corn maze that everybody went to, and
Mm-hmm.
the paintball, you all know that was like agricultural land, and you still see cows out there now, but they pretty much destroyed it. And it was allowed to be rezoned for senior housing. That was what it was supposed to be. And that's why they allowed it, because there was all this promise of this nice senior community with walking trails and lots of open spaces. Well, 4 years after that got approved, it slid into the back door of the comprehensive planning process. And this is what people got to watch for, is they were able to get it rezoned from senior housing, 55 and older, to all ages and high density development. So what was even then at 2016, it was supposed to be all these nice single family houses. Well, now it's all multifamily and apartments.
Did they say why?
No, they just approved it. And again, all the folks in Royal Valley, they didn't really understand what was going on until they started cutting down that forest in there. And again, it's too late. I mean, they're destroying, like, there was 5 streams there and all kinds of wetlands. And if you look out there now, what do you see? It's pretty bad. And
well, can we take a pause really quick? What I
Yeah.
wanted to do, I didn't want to forget. I'm going to just pull this up on the screen. On June 27th at the Kitsap Unitarian Fellowship Church, you had an event. Can you speak to that? I believe Representative Greg Dance was supposed to be in attendance. Did that happen? How did it
Yes.
go? Give us an update.
It went good, and it was really kind of a kickoff in the community for our Illahee Enetai community plan. And I wanted to kick it off and give people information. Greg Nance is very supportive of our efforts. He's supportive of saving Enetai and the Illahee community. He likes to hike and bike and stuff like that. So he came, and we didn't really talk a lot about the community plan as much, but more about what he sees and what he can do to help our communities, not just Enetai, but overall what's going on in the state. And he was able to take a lot of questions from the audience about what he's doing, and listen to the community, what we had to say. So I thought it went real well. I think we had about 50 people come to it.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a good turnout.
Yeah.
And more than just folks from the neighborhood, I would gather.
Well, I'd say that we had quite a bit of people from Illahee.
Okay, good.
Which I was really glad to see, because this is an opportunity for them to, if they want to do something different in their community or make amendments on their side, that they can. So I look at this as our 2 communities joining together under one voice.
And I just want to read this. It says here in red, Save Enetai went to trial December 2nd in the Kitsap County Superior Court. On February 20th of 2025, the judge ruled against us as expected. We have filed an appeal without an attorney due to lack of funds and outstanding legal bill. Although we are hopeful the judge would make the SEPA ruling in our favor based on the law, our expectations were tempered with the knowledge that local judges are generally not inclined to rule against local municipalities. We have ensured significant legal fees fighting this battle for over a year. Even if we win, the law doesn't allow for us to recover more than $1,000 in attorney fees. This is how developers stack the deck against communities. Please support our efforts by donating to our legal defense fund. And can they just click here and do that?
Yes, it should. There's a link on our website that you can go and donate through Kitsap Environmental Coalition.
And you kind of went over what and where is Enetai. It's a census designated place where a population of 2,497 residents are located south of the Illahee State Park, stretching to Manette Park, and lies within the urban growth boundary of Bremerton. So,
Yes.
That's a huge area, and it affects a lot of folks for sure. And then here on the right-hand side, and just for full disclosure, I am Marwan Cameron. I am running for mayor. Jeff Coughlin is also running for mayor. This is not a hit piece that I'm doing to, make myself look good. This is just the topic at hand, and this is on the website. So I'll let you explain that piece, if you will. There's a King 5 story and video. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was when one of the first city council hearings, King 5 came out. I didn't call them. I don't know who did, and I was shocked that they did, but they came down our street and knocked on doors.
Wow.
And I just happened to be there, and they interviewed about 5 of my neighbors, and put a drone up and showed all what was going on. And they also showed a piece of the city council in their study session, and talking about how the city created this ordinance well, I think let's back up. I think last time I talked about how we got a survey card in the mail that looked like it was from the city. It said the city of Bremerton wants to know if you want to be annexed into the city. Well, it turns out it was the developer that was sending out the card. So it was a bit misleading.
On behalf of the city?
Well, they said it was the city of Bremerton wants to know. So the language was,
wow.
I brought it up right away. Like, this is misleading. And of course, I informed all the community what it was really about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, everybody, 97% of the people said, no, we don't want to annex.
Wow.
And so what this was about is the city then created a back door to annexation. And they even admitted it on tape, which is in the King 5 thing, is that this is a forced annexation. They allowed, if we say, no, we don't want to annex, then they allow the developer to put in a request to extend sewer out to this property. And then when all the houses are built, then it forces annexation. So it's a way to force annexation against the will of the people.
Gotcha.
And in our case, we, all of my neighbors, I mean, lots of people showed up for a month and voiced their opinion about you can't approve this sewer line without looking at the environmental impacts. And the city's like, oh no, that's for the county to do. And all I remember is on the last night, because there was other issues going on, we sat there for 4 hours, all the people from Enetai. And slowly but surely people had to leave because none of us had dinner. And I just remember Jeff Coughlin looking around and seeing how nobody was left anymore. And he decides, I'm going to motion to approve this. And then I think
others went along with it.
Well, I think everybody, all the rest of the city council seemed kind of shocked, like nobody said anything. They weren't expecting that. And then eventually somebody said, oh, I'll second it. And then they did their little spiel about why they voted for it. And I mean, only one, well, there was two. One of them was a man who's no longer on city council. He was leaving.
That's Quinn, right?
I believe so. And then Anna Mockler.
Okay.
She voted against it. So it was 5-2 and it was approved. And so we filed a case saying, you can't approve this. This is not appropriate because you need to do a SEPA review, an environmental review. Because essentially by approving this sewer line extension is green lighting to rip down the forest. That's how we look at it.
Sounds like it might be helpful to actually get that that tape and play that video.
Oh yeah.
So that you can see what was the justification for Jeff bringing that forward and the other four approving and pushing that through. And it looks like there was there
should be links over there that will, I think, take you to the recordings. Yeah. I thought I had them up there, but I think they might have messed with the links recently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if not, Kathy will take a look sometime in the next couple days and update that. So stay tuned on that. All right, so thank you for kind of going over that. Let's also talk a little bit. Part of a lot of feedback that you got was, what happens to other neighbors that this might happen to? I guess there was requests for you to share how to organize.
How to do. And I think it's, it's being, again, see something, say something, talk to your neighbors, be a watchdog, because if you just get complacent and you don't say anything, people get away with stuff. And I think that, some of the people, the community groups, like I said, we're all talking to each other now and sharing information. There's been working groups that watch the comprehensive plan process. There's, our lawsuit. I think Kitsap Environmental Coalition, they filed something with appealing the comprehensive planning. So did FutureWise. There are people that are watching this, but the developers are overpowering everybody. there's more developers trying to come in here and scrape our grounds and develop than there's enough of us.
Wow.
It's very complex, and they have made it their business to figure out how they can skirt all the rules, or to create the rules that are rigged in their favor.
They make the rules up, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
And I mean, I think some of the things people can do is well, they can help the people that are trying to help them. Support FutureWise, support Kitsap Environmental Coalition. We have our lawsuit is an appeal right now with the appellate court, and the city of Bremerton is trying to shut me down and doing everything they can to make sure this doesn't go to the appellate court. So I guess we're a threat. I don't know why, but why not just let us go through if they're so confident in their case? But we have a petition to take Enetai out of the UGA, out of Bremerton. That, if people want to go just search, take Enetai out of the UGA, you'll find it. And then there is a new one that has just gone up, which is Pause Development in Royal Valley. I don't know if you all saw the paper this morning, but they talked about yet a new development going up on John Carlson and 303. The whole 303 corridor from downtown Bremerton to Silverdale there's probably 15 different apartment complexes and developments going in. And there's going to be, they were proposing circles like at Lowe's, at John Carlson, and then even at Central Valley Road. They want to take down that overpass and put in a 3-lane circle. So they're approved. All this development has been approved, but WashDOT and the county are not considering the safety. If anybody that's gone up and tried to turn left up on the highway, like off a Military Road, or even just merging off of Central Valley, it's a safety issue.
I do not like that merge. You're absolutely right there.
There is some really serious safety issues going on, and I think that's why the people in Royal Valley are saying pause development. You need to don't approve more development in Royal Valley, which is what they're trying to do right now, and increase the density before you figure out the safety of the roads. This is just, it's going to be gridlock and all kinds of accidents. WashDOT has no plans to improve it as far as what Royal Valley people have been told by WashDOT. So y'all can help everybody by going and signing petitions.
And this petition is here at the SaveEnetai.org here in the right-hand corner.
Let's see. Yes, that's ours. Yes.
Okay.
You can click on that one. And you can also, if you just Google take Enetai out of UGA, it'll go to change.org. Change.org is the place where both my petition as well as Royal Valley's petition is.
Well, this looks pretty good. 664 signatures. Let's get to 750.
I know.
Right?
I was surprised. And we went from 450 to 650 in 2 months.
Oh, let me put my name in there.
Yeah.
How's that? I'll do it live on air.
Yeah, and you can do video too. You can do a video statement, which I didn't know about. And I guess Royal Valley, they just put up their petition on Friday, and they're already up to 550 people.
Wow.
I'm jealous. So sign us both up, on both of us. But it's pretty nice to see people are making comments in support of what we're all doing. And I think, again, to bring it back to home is, we have kind of a responsibility to take care of what we have. And if we don't do something, the developers are going to drive what's going to happen here.
Gotcha.
And
I think this is powerful too, that this is on here. It says here you can email the decision makers. And so these are the council here for Bremerton: Michael Goodnow, District 5, Jeff Coughlin, District 3, Jennifer Chamberlain, District 1.
They're all up there.
They're all here.
even though I will say though that when we first put this up, that the city of Bremerton, and I only found this out by a public records request
Mhm.
and got the emails, is they did not like this being up there. And they wrote in to that they can go and they can make a comment about the petition.
Mhm.
And so the city said that, they don't have anything to do with us being in the UGA, that's up to the county. And it's like, well, that's not true. You can advocate to and send a letter to the county saying you want us to be taken out of the UGA. So there's a tendency to point the finger as, oh, it's not our responsibility. It's somebody else's responsibility. And they didn't have to vote for to extend sewer. They didn't have to do that. I still have never gotten an answer about why, their justification.
Wow. Okay. So please go in there, and if you agree, sign the petition. Also, here's a lesson on what you need to do if there's something that's happening in your neighborhood that you do not like, and how you can organize and take this action. And you'd be surprised how many people are willing and ready to stand with you. Sometimes it's like being in school and everyone has the question, but it's the first person to raise the hand, and everyone else is like, "Oh, thank you for asking the question. I had the same
Yes,
question."
you did what I asked. I think and to find out that people support, you if you don't talk to each other, you don't know.
Absolutely. And we have a chat from Lilette Cook saying misleading language basically is misinformation. So shout out to folks watching the show. Please do comment, like, and share. And if you do have any questions, you can go to the Save Enetai website directly, and they have a spot for you to send in information. If you do send information here, I will forward it on to Kathy as well. So we want to make sure that that information is there. So as we start to wrap, we talked a little bit about how to get involved. There were a couple of things you wanted to touch on.
Well, I think it's probably signing our petitions is really a good place to start.
Okay.
And I was trying to really hone down into a little bit about comprehensive planning and how important it is to get involved in it. I think probably a lot of people get the postcard in the mail and they just throw it away. And they don't understand how it drives everything that happens for the next 4 to 6 years in their area. And I encourage people to get more involved if they can. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are struggling too much to survive rather than to get involved with some of this stuff.
Yes, absolutely. That is very critical. And I wanted to show that map. And there was one other thing that you shared with me. Let me pull that up really quickly here. And as I'm doing that, next week, what will we be talking about next week?
Well, I think I'll talk again a little bit more about the comprehensive planning, always coming back to that because it's comprehensive planning and zoning really are the key to everything. And having a grasp of that is important. But I think probably then talking about next week about the Department of Community Development and what is happening there at the city, at the county. There is a super high turnover. I know that at DCD at the county, there's been a 94% turnover in the staff in the past 3 years. So a lot of stuff has gotten permitted in the last few years, and the staff turnover does not help. You can imagine it's a bit chaotic. A lot of people that are new, that don't know the processes, are making decisions that are really kind of done on the fly to a certain degree by not a lot of what I call highly qualified people in positions to supervise a lot of these people too. So we're just seeing a lot of bad decisions be made, and now it's coming to fruition. So talk a little bit about DCD and the process and how they take these permit applications from these big developers.
And Kathy, if you don't mind, for those that might not know the acronyms, like what is the UGA? What is the DCD?
Well, the UGA is urban growth area.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at that map of Enetai, that boundary is the urban growth area of Bremerton. So the urban growth area is stuff that is it's an area that is in the future plan to annex into the city.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then DCD is Department of Community Development.
And so we'll get into that a lot next week. But I did want to pull up there, everyone can see on the screen, remove the tie from the UGA of the city of Bremerton, scan to send the petition. So there's a QR code that will take you directly to it. That is on your screen as well. Kathy, I just want to again say thank you for your leadership and your, well, I mean, not only have you led with your feet and your mouth, but you've also put dollars behind it and organizing folks. Is there a space outside of going to the website that folks can, do a meet and greet? Like, do you guys meet for coffee anywhere once a month or anything like that, so people can kind of get together and do a face-to-face?
Well, we are getting ready to set up, starting in September, the amendment plan process. I just need to set the dates where I believe we're going to meet at either the Sylvan Way Library or at the Unitarian Church. So we'll have something up on our website about those regular meetings where people can come monthly. But if people want to contact me, I'm always willing to go and meet people for coffee or whatever they'd like. I'm always open.
And Lillette Cook, you said, can you link that? Can you type which one you wanted me to link? And you said it was the last page. Is that the last page of the website? Just type that in for me. And then also from the Friends of Smith Cove and Evergreen, Kathy was one of the very few that was able to give Friends of Smith Cove any direction. We were floundering, and her experience gave us a handle on how to proceed in a very skewed municipal government. Absolutely. I think that's really it, right? We're out here, we're living our lives, we're trying to take care of ourselves and our families, we're doing the best we can. Many of us are treading water and trying to survive. And at the same time, these things are happening and we have no idea what's the first thing. How do we fight? How do we advocate? How do we have a voice? And then all this technical jargon, and next thing you know, it's being done. And, it's like, well, what happened? We didn't have any, I see. We didn't have any, input or say, right? The studies weren't done. We're not really looking at this. When we look at the long-term growth that is projected for Bremerton, one of the big concerns that I have is this a Bremerton for Bremertonians? This could be the last generation for many kids that are in school right now. As they graduate, they won't even be able to live in the city that they went to high school and middle school and middle school. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're looking at. My daughter graduates in 4 years. Can she afford to live in Bremerton in 4 years? I don't know. Not unless she gets a great job. It's a problem.
Which brings us to another topic, I think, for the future is to talk about affordable housing.
Absolutely.
Is what is affordable housing? And the developers sure are not making affordable housing. So who is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And affordable rents, too. I think that there's this big push we need affordable housing. Well, and we don't have enough, and push, build. Well, somebody sent me this morning a current thing of a map of the city of Bremerton, and there's like 250 vacancies in apartments in the city. So why do we need to keep building when we have stuff already in place that is sitting vacant?
Right. Absolutely. And I will be speaking to that, again, as a candidate and also as a citizen. But one of the big issues are the tax breaks that are provided to developers, which I am in huge disagreement with. And when we look at these tax breaks that are set for, I think,
10 years?
Yeah, another 10 years, right? we are just kicking the can down the road into unaffordable housing that they are earmarking as affordable. It's not affordable now. You're giving these tax breaks to developers, and all these things are cascading, right? So if
Yes,
you're
they're
giving
all
these tax breaks to
cascading.
developers, but we need to raise revenue for the city of Bremerton, and then the option is, oh well, why don't we increase the sales tax? We'll just put more burden onto the people, right? And that's what I mean by, our kids aren't even going to be able to afford to live in the city that they grew up in, and it's unacceptable. We need to do something else, and we need to do it now. We cannot wait.
No,
We can't kick
it's
the
all
can.
starting to. You're right. I think it's cascading,
Mhm.
and we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the police. We don't have the emergency services. The hospital is there. There's not enough capacity,
Can the environment sustain it?
and right, and
Our
the
water table,
environment's
right?
getting
There's so many
destroyed.
considerations.
Right.
Right, absolutely. Well, as we wrap up for this week, again, Kathy, shout out to you for all of your fantastic work and advocation. Please, folks, tune in, uh, go to the website, stay informed. She has this, and her team are organized. These are regular folks, right, that are
We
doing
are.
this work. The website is beautiful. There's a chronological history of what's happening, so it's easy to follow. And she stands ready for other people to come alongside and support in any capacity that you can do it. And you would probably be surprised. You would say, hey, I don't have that skill set. There is something that you can do in just a conversation. It's like, oh, I can do that. And it will make a big difference, a huge help. And again, when there's negative things that are happening in aggregate, they compound. The opposite is also true. When good people come together, those things compound as well. We are the people, we are Bremerton. And as we come together, we are stronger together. So let's come, share, advocate with each other, and build each other up. So, with that being said, this is the Illahee Enetai, your community. We'll be back next Friday and every Friday at 4 p.m. for another show. Thank you to Kathy. I am R1 Cameron. This is The Conduit. As always, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Thank you, everyone. And also, lastly, heat advisory is going to